Starting my truck inspection B. This is my mirror. It's properly mounted and secured. It's clear. These are my mirror brackets. They are attached to my cab by nuts and bolts. My door opens and closes. It is held on by hinges and they are properly mounted and secure.
The hanger, door hanger.
My weather stripping is properly mounted and secured. It's not cut or frayed, and it does not have weather rot.
You can draw door seal, right? Door seal okay, right?
No, this is a weather stripping.
Weather stripping, okay.
My left turn signal and forward flasher is properly mounted and secure. The rubber garment is intact. It is not cracked or damaged.
Slow down, Levi. Slow down.
My left turn signal with my four-way flasher is properly mounted and secure. The rubber garment is intact and the screw is there. It is full and good. My fuel tank is properly mounted and secure by 3 latches. They are not broken or damaged in any way. My fuel cap is properly mounted and secure, and the rubber seal is not cracked or broken in any way. It is working up to spec. My step is properly mounted and secured to the frame by nuts and bolts. My catwalk is properly mounted and secure. All right, my exhaust system here is properly mounted and secure, and it does not have soot coming out from where it is welded. And the heat shield is properly mounted and secure by big ass O-rings. Or I'm sorry, big ass C-clamps. And down here, if y'all get over here, right there, that is my drive shaft. It is properly, it's properly mounted and secured, and it is held in by the
Right
down
side.
here. Down.
Oh, the right side.
Drive
Okay.
shaft, yes.
Right
It is
side.
held in by the. Hey, what are those drive shaft things called? U-joint C-clamps or U-joints? The U-joints are clear and free of debris. All right, down here.
You got it?
Down here.
How about this?
No, that's I got you, buddy.
Okay.
Down here is my my leaf spring hanger. It is properly mounted and secured by nuts and bolts. They are tight. It is not damaged in any way. My torque arm and my leaf spring are properly mounted and secured to my leaf hanger. They are or to my spring hanger. They are both properly mounted and secured by nuts and bolts. Down here is my brake chamber. It is properly mounted and secure. It has 2 O-rings in it, and the nut behind it for the retention ring is tight, and the slack adjusters are properly mounted and secure with the push rod, and the clevis keys are intact with the cotter keys in place. All right, we're gonna walk around to the back. We're gonna talk about my drive tires. My drive tires are properly mounted and secured. The side walls have no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and the tire depth should be at 2 and 32. It should be fully inflated to 100 PSI. My rim has no illegal welds. It's properly mounted and secure. My axle seal is properly mounted and secure. My axle lug nuts or my axle nuts are properly mounted and secured. None are missing. They're not too tight or too loose. They're not spidering,
No
and there's no rusting. My
No rusting.
and it is not leaking from my axle seal. My lug nuts are properly mounted and secure. They are intact, and they are not too tight or too loose. If they were too tight, it'd be spidering, and if it was too loose, you see rush trails. My valve stem right here is properly mounted and secure, and the cap is tight. And if you come around the side here, in between my 2 drive tires, the spacing is clear, and there's no debris between the 2 spaces. All right, and the hub behind it, the brake hub is properly mounted and secure, and the brake lining is properly mounted and secure, and there should not be there should not be less than 1/4 inch of thickness on the brake lining.
Sock and sober too. Yeah, sock and sober.
My airbags are properly mounted and secure. They are not cut or frayed or damaged in any way. My shock absorber is properly mounted and secure by nuts and bolts. It is not leaking. My left, you got my left and right turn signal and reflectors.
My left.
My left and right turn signals and window reflectors are properly mounted and secure. My mud flaps are properly mounted and secure, and they're at least 6 inches off the ground.
Okay.
My DOT reflective stickers are intact and they are not damaged. And that completes my B inspection.
All right. Thank you, Levi.